right? Call Halalium La Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Harakakwadash. Giving double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who I learned the truth from, and all you faithful like them throughout the four winds. Continue pushing. This is going to be another video dealing with some brief history and where the term white came from and when. So this is I'm gonna play also a video, but I'm just gonna grab this article first. We're gonna grab some scriptures and we're gonna prove that Esau Esau is full of shit. Okay, this damn devil is full of shit. So anyway, this from there's many articles, but I just grabbed one, The Message, How White People Got Made. It's like a fucking dyke there too. Anyway, let's start from here. When the first Africans, which those are Israelites, they came on the slave ships, because that's a prophecy that will befall the Israelites. And that you could read that in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and also Deuteronomy 28 and 48. He should put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. This never happened to no other people but the Israelites, so-called Negroes. Okay, it says here, when the first Africans arrived in Virginia in 1619, there were no white people there. Nor according to the colonial records would there be for another 60 years. Theodore W. Allen. There's nothing that a white man with a penny hates more than a nigger with a nickel. Chris Rock. Oh, Chris Rock said that, huh? Okay. Let's read a little more here. We're gonna hear from Esau Edom's own mouth, but let's read a little more here. There's a perception that whiteness is working for white people. It's not. Whiteness is one of the biggest and most long-running scams ever perpetuated, right? Because that was used as a social construct, white and black. So when you think of white, you actually believe you have that vibration, that you actually believe that the so-called white man of Esau is pure. Like, because that's what white is. White means pure, and black means like what? To be void or ugly. So you start believing that you have to, even like so-called black women, they start getting blonde hair. They start believing that they have to put a blonde weave or color their hair blonde, or even Israelite men out there color their hair blonde, dye their hair blonde to make you believe that you have to be like this so-called white man. Okay, there's nothing white about this devil. He's not pure. Okay, and we're gonna go into what we're going to go into the scriptures, of course. It says here, it started in the late 1600s in America, but like so many scams, it was spiraled out of control until it had life of its own. So that so Esau keeps, till his day, he keeps pushing that vibration, white and black, Puerto Rican, Dominican. So once you start lodging that in somebody's brain, you start pushing that in somebody's brain and continually feeding them with that lie, then what? It becomes a habit to repeat these things like, oh, look, that white guy there, okay, that black guy there, that white guy there, that black guy. No. Okay, let's read this part right here. The Virginians, okay, down in Virginia, legislated a new class of people into existence. The whites. They gave the whites certain rights and took other rights from blacks. White as a language of race appears in Virginia around the 1680s and seems to first appear in Virginia law in 1691. And thus whiteness, and to a degree as well blackness, was born in the mind of America. So now let's play this video. I'm not gonna play too much of it, but let's play this video. Let's check out what Esau Edom has to say.
White people did not exist before 1681. Again, white people did not exist on planet Earth until 1681. Number two, any claim that this group called white people, any claim that group is rooted in biology or derived from genes or biology, or is innate or is from nature, is a lie. Third and final point. As a matter of foundational law, actually, let me say it this way. White supremacy has been embedded in the United States of America from its founding as a matter of law.
Exactly, and that's what. And till this day, you know, it's still white supremacy. You Jakes ain't gonna get ahead. It doesn't matter how much. And this actually goes into the Bacon's Rebellion. Brothers could look that up. The Bacon's Rebellion down in Jamestown, Virginia, dealing with indentured servants, Irish, Israelite slaves, and Israelite slaves being freed after they worked a certain amount of years, then naked owned slaves, and such bullshit that Esau comes up with. But the scriptures say clearly, it doesn't really matter what you Jakes do in this society. You're not going to get ahead. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter what Esau Edom offers you. You ain't getting ahead. All right? You're bound to these curses. This Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. We're going to go to the origins of who Esau Edom is and what color is Esau Edom. Okay? And the Bible doesn't say he's a white man. I can tell you that. Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse. So the Lord scattered us for a reproach and a curse. Okay, we are yet this day in our captivity, where the Lord scattered us, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers. Anytime a Israelite goes to prison, you're paying the elites. You're making money for the elites. Anytime they take drugs off the streets and put you niggas in prison, you're making money for the elites. Subject to payments, what? Can mean what? You have to pay with your life here. You pay with your blood. You're paying bills. You're still under oppression. So what new has sprung up? What has sprung up that's new? I want to know, because that is not the evidence. It's not the clear evidence. We can see the clear evidence clearly we can see the evidence of you Jake still being in your captivity. There is nothing has changed, and nothing is going to change until Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai puts Esau Edom, the so-called, why we say so-called white man. He's not white. There's nothing pure about this devil. Nothing is going to change until the Most High puts this devil in chains. According to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord, our power, right? So the Most High gave us up to these Edomites. That's why we were taken here on cargo slave ships. 1619, the Atlantic slave trade really kicked off in 1619. And more slaves around the 1820s started being brought over here to the Americas. But millions and millions and millions of Israelite slaves were brought here to the America. Esau Edom even tells you that slave ships existed. They even tell you that Negroes were brought over here against their will, were stolen against their will from the west coast of Africa, kidnapped and brought here to the Americas and different parts of the world. And that's a fact. You can't get around that. You ain't gonna get away from that. For all you niggas that believe that, oh, that never happened, that's because you niggas are in a strong delusion. You actually believe, and you ask these niggas, okay, so if slave ships never exist, what's your future plans? What are you gonna do about it? Who controls the earth? What's your race? I mean, what do you classify yourself as being? What color are you? They'll say black. They'll say African. And there's no such thing as an African or a black person. Just like I'm bringing out the video right now in the history of white. There's no such thing as white. Let me grab this in Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Okay. Just Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse... Let's start at verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. So you Jake still haven't got ahead in this society. Where you at? There was no such thing as an Emancipation Proclamation, but there was a transfer of what? Ownership. Go look up the 13th Amendment. That's a transfer of power or transfer of not power or ownership. Yeah, so it was a transfer of ownership from one slave master to another. That's all it was. Cursed shall that be in a city, right, in these ghettos, and cursed shall that be in a field, in a world. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy stores, right? Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. So no matter where the Israelites go, we're constantly cursed. I want to grab the one that says the head and not the tail. Let's just smite the that should be Trump, big wife. Oh, my bad. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Meaning these other nations are the head. They're on top of us. Esau, Edom, the white, so-called white man, is on top of the Israelites. And we're the tail. We got to go to this devil for everything. Let's stay right here. Let's go to the origins of Esau, Edom. Let's go to Genesis 25. Genesis, I'm slipping over here. Genesis 25. It's all good as long as the video gets done and it's edifying. Genesis chapter 25. Let's start at verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord. Isaac is our forefather. And Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Right, so there's going to be two manner of people in Rebekah. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. Now, you know, Israelites, okay, we're dominant. We're the dominant race on earth. Hebrew Israelites, whether you so-called Negroes or you so-called Latinos or so-called Native American Indians, it doesn't matter. We're the dominant race on earth. Okay, that's why a lot of these culture vultures or these Edomites want to be like us. Whether it's music, whether it's sports, they want to be like us. And the elders will serve the younger, right? And Esau, Edom was the first one that was born, so he's the elder. And he's going to serve us what? In the kingdom, that 1,000 years. Okay? And the kingdom, he's going to what? Serve us for 1,000 years. And we're going to beat him over the fucking head. He's going to have to do everything we tell him to do. And after 1,000 years, guess what? He's going to be bonfire. We're going to burn his ass. Like the scripture saying, Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. That right there is a future prophecy that never happened. Okay? So two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. So what race of people come out looking pink? That's the so-called white race. So-called white people. They come out looking pink. And Esau means wasted away is he. He has a lack of pigmentation. He looks like he comes out the womb dead. He has no melanin in him. So what race does that? It's Esau. It's So like Esau is the so-called white man. That's the only race that comes out looking what? Looking pink, looking red. Verse 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. Okay, that was the point I wanted to get. And they called his name Esau. Now, when you grab Genesis 36, and let's start at verse 1. Now, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, dark-skinned women. Why did he do that? Because he wanted his melanin back. Because he goes back to what? Because everybody on earth at that particular time with Jacob and Esau were dark-skinned until Esau came out. That's why it mentions his color in the scriptures in Genesis 25, but it doesn't mention Jacob, because this devil came out looking different than everybody else on earth at that particular time. So he went to what? He went to try to get his pigmentation back with the daughters of Canaan. Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, Hamites, and Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite, and Bashemith, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nabajah. So he went to what? He went to Ishmaelites as well to try to get his pigmentation back, proving that the original Arabs were dark-skinned people. The Canaanites or the Africans are till this day dark-skinned people, but not the Negroes. See, Jacob is a so-called Negro, but not the Africans, because when you go into the Compact Bible Dictionary, it tells you that the Negroes are not these Africans. They're not the Libyans. They're not the Egyptians. They're not the Hittites. They're not the Canaanites. That came out of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's own mouth. They wrote that, the Compact Bible Dictionary. So Esau, when he was Cain, and that's the mark. The mark of Esau has the mark of Cain. And when he was Cain, as far as being a murderer also too, can mention that. Cain had melanin or pigmentation back then. But Cain comes what? From the seed of the wicked. And Esau, Edom comes from that same seed. And he is the reincarnation of Cain on earth. And that's why he wanted to go to these dark-skinned women, which he still does till this day, to go fuck them to what? To get their pigmentation, to get his pigmentation back. Which I mention this a lot, but I'll mention it briefly. I'm not going to go into the wheat and the tares. But you're going to have Edomites that look dark-skinned. You're going to have Edomites that look dark-skinned because the slave owner down south was fucking an Israelite woman and putting his cracker seed up in an Israelite woman. So whose seed is that going to be? It's going to be that man. It ain't going to be that woman's seed. And you ain't going to change that. Genealogy is genealogy. The father carries the seed. You can't change that. You can't get around that. There's no science that could alter gene or bloodline. It ain't going to happen. And that's why Esau, Edom desperately is trying to cut us off from being a people. As well, he's trying to cut themselves off too. He'll try to destroy his own people, try to say, look, we're not the Edomites. You know, this devil is that crafty, but he can't do that because he's an Edomite. He knows he got to go into slavery. But anyway, that's another story. I'll be here all day. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, right? And the Canaanites were dark-skinned. The Hittites were dark-skinned. The Hivites were dark-skinned. Ishmaelites were dark-skinned. So I just wanted to grab that. I don't want to make this video too long. But you can hear from her mouth again. Let Esau let you know what it is.
White people did not exist before 1681. Again, white people did not exist on planet Earth until 1681.
That's it. You heard it from an Edomite herself, and that's true. 1681 down in Virginia. Even when you look at the job applications, you got either black, either Puerto Rican, either Caucasian, and other race and stuff like that. But there's no such thing as a black man. There's no such thing as a white man. Oh yeah, that's the scripture I want to get, the Proverbs and Bibles. There's no such thing as a black man or a white man. Esau, Edom is red. Edom means red. I forgot to get that too. Damn it. Hold on. Got a lot on my mind. Got a lot on my mind, but hey, we gonna grab it. Edom. When you look at Edom, Adawam, really. Yeah. No. Edom, Idumean, descendants of Esau, land of Edom, Idumea, land south and southeast of Palestine. Edom, red. Until his day, he's still red. He's not going to change his feature. He's red, and that's what Edom means. Esau means wasted away is he, Ishashua. Wasted away is he. No pigmentation. What was wasted away on Esau? His pigmentation. Esau, Edom is red. That's what I want to grab. And I also want to grab Deuteronomy 28 and verse 37. This is why they call you black. Because that's a social construct. They keep drilling it into your mind, and you, Jake, start believing that you're actually black. They start drilling African American in your mind, and you actually believe that you're an African American. But those are two names of two Edomite colonizer or explorers during the age of exploration. Amerigo Vespucci and Leo Scipio Africanus. And that's a fact. That's a fact. And that's how Africa got its name. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So what a proverb and a byword is like calling you black. Come here, you African American. Come here, you Puerto Rican. Come here, you Indian. Those are proverbs and bywords. That's proof that who created the social construct or the color separation on earth? Esau, Edom did. Segregation, blacks here, whites there. Esau, Edom did. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. And that's it. And until this day, they're still calling you black. You niggas calling yourself African. Ain't no such thing as an African. You fucking dumbass niggas. I'm black, son. Black means void. Void of light. Pure. White means pure. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man is red, not white. He's not pure. But with that, shalom.